This is the real estate fun game, Contract 4. Here are your instructions. For each question, the answer will appear. You provide the question, just like in that famous TV game show. You'll get 3 seconds to come up with the answer. Keep track of the right and wrong just to see if you can measure progress. Run this fun game as many times as it takes until you're ready for prime time. Are you ready? Question 1. This type of contract gives you the right, but not the obligation, to purchase a property at a set price. What is an option contract? Question 2. This is the original owner of the property in an option contract. Who is the optionor? The optionee is the person that's buying the option. Question 3. This feature of an option contract means that no one other than the optionee may buy the property in the specified time. What is exclusivity? Question 4. These are the 2 requirements of an option contract. What are the price and the option period? It is not acceptable to wait until the optionee decides to exercise the option to set the sales price. Question 5. This is the term for when the optionee chooses to buy the property as set forth in the option contract. What is exercise? When the optionee exercises the option to buy, the option contract becomes a sales contract for the sale of the property. Question 6. What must the optionee provide to the optionor when an option is signed? What is valuable consideration? Question 7. This is what usually happens to the money paid by the optionee when an option contract is exercised. What is applied to the purchase price, but this is subject to negotiation. Question 8. This is what happens when an option to buy is not exercised. What is forfeiture of the price of the option? Question 9. This is when the listing broker on an option property earns his or her commission. What is when the option is exercised? Note, if the seller fails to close the property, the listing broker would still be owed a commission. Question 10. In an option contract, this person retains legal title and all rights to the property. Who is the optionor, who still owns the property until closing? Question 11. Once an option is exercised, this person has equitable title. Who is the optionee? Note, this person is now called the vendee. Question 12. Of unilateral or bilateral, the term that describes the option contract before it is exercised. What is unilateral? Because only one of the parties, namely the seller, is obligated to do anything. The contract becomes bilateral when the option is exercised and the sales contract is created. Question 13. The 2 main differences between an option contract and a right of first refusal. Number 1 is, what are the predetermined price and fixed time? The right of first refusal is the right to have first opportunity to buy the property if the buyer agrees to offer the price that the seller is seeking. Question 14. This occurs in a contract when one party or the other refuses to live up to their obligations. What is a breach? Question 15. When a contract is breached, this is the person that still lived up to their obligations. What is the innocent party? Question 16. Of the 5 remedies for breach of contract, this is the one where the innocent party may settle for less than the original contract terms. What is partial performance? Question 17. Of the 5 remedies for breach of contract, this is the one where the innocent party may cancel the contract. What is rescission? Question 18. Of the 5 remedies for breach of contract, in these 3, the innocent party may take the other to court. What are sue for specific performance, sue for damages, or sue for liquidated damages? Question 19. In a suit for specific performance, this is the party that has the best chance for winning. Who is the buyer? The reason is that the seller can be adequately compensated by monetary damages. Question 20. This may include forfeiture of the earnest money deposit if a buyer breaches the contract. What are liquidated damages? Question 21. Because of this, the innocent party must take action within a specific time period. What is the statute of limitations? Question 22. This principle says that the contract must be performed on or before the date specified in the contract. What is time is of the essence? Question 22. This type of contract occurs when a buyer offers to buy a house from a seller. What is a sales contract or a contract of sale? Question 23. Because the buyer needs time to determine whether the seller has a good title, the buyer needs time to arrange financing, this feature of a sales contract happens. What is the closing occurring later than the sales contract offering? And that is to say, a gap in time between the closing and the offer. Question 24. This is paid by the buyer at the time the contract is signed. What is earnest money? Note, this is not legally needed, but it's a good practice that shows good faith on the part of the buyer. Question 25. When a contract is offered, this terminates the contract if the contract is not accepted within a reasonable period of time. What is time limits? Contract 26. This is what happens when a contract is not accepted exactly as written. What is termination? When any change is offered, the contract automatically terminates the original offer and constitutes a counteroffer. Question 27. This is a sale accepted by the seller with the stated understanding that the seller has accepted a prior offer. What is a backup contract? Question 28. This is a short purchase contract used in some states to secure a transaction until a more formal contract can be prepared. What is a binder contract? Question 29. This is a contract under which the seller retains title. The purchaser takes possession while installment payments are being made. What is an installment contract? Contract number 30. These two things happen when a buyer defaults on an installment contract. What are eviction and forfeiture of all the payments? Question 31. In an installment contract, this party is the legal property owner until the property is paid for. What is the seller? Note, in this case, the buyer still pays property taxes, can deduct interest payments for tax purposes, and claims any depreciation. This is the end of Contract 4. Click on some of our other tests as a fun, fast way to learn your real estate terminology.